Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cindy and I used to work for Louis Vuitton for many years at many different locations across several states. I disclosed this information in a recent video where I reviewed a book called A Beginner's Guide to Louis Vuitton, and I used my background information and expertise working for the company to review the book and point out a lot of the inaccuracies that I found. That review inadvertently started a new series where I expose a lot of the behind the scenes information working for Louis Vuitton. My most recent video, I talked about the Louis Vuitton employee benefits and perks. So if you're interested in that information, I recommend subscribing and clicking the notification bell so you'll hear my next video. In my Instagram stories, I asked what you guys wanted to hear next. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, I also recommend you follow me on there. It's @heatedmess. LV never goes on sale. If you're looking for a deal on an LV bag, for the most part, you have to turn to the pre-owned and the vintage market. So in my Instagram, I will frequently post Instagram stories with links to my recommended resellers of authentic bags, vintage bags, and hard to find items. I also post Instagram polls asking what you guys want to hear next. And my recent poll, a lot of you wanted to know what happens when a customer brings in a fake bag. Now you may be surprised, but it does happen pretty frequently. Because I worked at multiple boutiques across several different states, I kind of saw the diversity in the demographics and the areas. And so the boutiques where more customers would bring in fakes usually are located near cities where there's kind of an underground market for counterfeit bags, but it happens everywhere. Now the reasons that these people would bring fake bags in varied, and the way we kind of handle these interactions depends on what the goal is of the customer. And I'll start by, I guess, the most innocuous to the most adversarial. There were some people who just had a fake bag and they were proud of it and they just maybe wanted to show it off. I call these exhibitionists. They would come in and they were wearing their fake bag and just like rocking it over their shoulder and like strutting through the boutique, and they were very happy and it was great, and they didn't say anything. They kind of walked around. I remember vividly there was one woman who came in with a fake. This was when the monogram denim collection had just come out. This is the mini pleaty and the denim monogram. And then I have these shoes. As part of the denim collection, they released a few bags in this special red alligator trim. Because they were exotics, it was a higher price point. It's pretty rare for people to have the denim bag with red croc. But when there were fakes of them, they were so hideous. They were just so awful. Remember when that collection came out, a woman came in wearing a hideous fake denim with the red fake croc trim, and she was just very happy with herself, and she didn't come up to us, she didn't ask us anything, and you know, that's fine. You can wear whatever you want in the store. And you know, she looked around, she was with her husband, she had her fake bag on her shoulder, and in that case there was no interaction because she wasn't really asking us for anything. She, you know, didn't say anything. So great. Exhibitionists. They just were living their best life. Then there were people who came in with a fake bag and asked us if we could authenticate this bag. They would say that it was gifted to them from a boyfriend or their husband or their cousin or their mom, or they'd say, oh, I found this in my grandmother's closet. You know, can you tell me, is this real? Is this an authentic Louis Vuitton bag? As part of my training, we couldn't officially make a statement declaring whether something is authentic or counterfeit. Pretty much we couldn't use the words replica or authentic or fake or dupe or knockoff, any of those words. What we would say is, this is not a Louis Vuitton bag, and we would kind of gently push it back to them. Sometimes they would ask if we would write a letter of authenticity stating that something is actually, you know, deemed inauthentic. And again, we don't do that. There was never any letter that we would release. No, there was no published statement that we would ever issue from our boutique. So we just would kind of let them down gently. And for the most part, they were like, okay. And I think it's because when they come in, they pretty much knew that it was fake and they just wanted maybe confirmation from us. So even a verbal confirmation, they were fine with. And then there were people who would come in with a fake bag that was broken. And probably because the quality of fakes are awful a lot of times. Either the handle is falling off or the fake leather bottom of the bag is falling apart. In some cases, you know, they would bring in a Speedy bag with fake feet and the feet are falling off. And as you know, a Speedy does not have feet on it. So when they would come in and ask, hey, can you guys repair this bag? Then we pretty much would have to tell them, unfortunately, this is not a Louis Vuitton bag. And then we would kind of push it back to them. And for the most part, again, in those cases, they were okay with our response, and they would act surprised, they would act shocked, they would say, really? They would say, are you sure? they would ask us sometimes to point out why it's fake. You know, how do we know? How can we tell? Because to them it looks real. And, you know, we pretty much would decline to go into the details because we don't know who these people are. We don't know if they're potential counterfeiters. So generally we did not go detail by detail and point out the features of our real bag versus their fake bag. Sometimes they would ask to see a real bag. So if they bring in a fake Speedy, they'll say, oh, well, can I look at a real Speedy? And, you know, we can't say no. So they would literally have their fake bag. We would give them the real bag and they would just do like a side-by-side comparison. And for the most part, once you see them side by side, you can tell, oh, okay, yes, this is very fake and ugly and falling apart. And then they would see our real bag. They would feel the difference in the quality. The leather is different. The stitching is different. They would just see the difference in quality, and that would be sufficient for their purposes. And they would walk away okay with that interaction. One girl had a very fake Alma, and her friend was kind of trailing behind her, looking very sheepish. And so immediately I was like, okay, what's gonna happen here? So the friend with the bag said, oh, this bag, you know, this part's broken. Can you guys fix it? So I looked and I said, oh, you know, unfortunately, we can't repair this. This is not a Louis Vuitton bag. And so the friend was like, oh my God. Oh, but this is my friend's bag. Her friend's boyfriend got it for her as a gift. I can't believe it's fake. And the friend whispered to the girl and said, I told you he got it from Chinatown. So she knew, but I guess they just, I don't know, wanted to see maybe if we would recognize it or see if they could get away with having it repaired. But, you know, we catch on to that stuff pretty quick because the quality of a lot of these bags are just atrocious. So again, you know, fairly innocent interaction. And then the worst offenders were the people who brought in fake bags and were insistent that it was real, to the point that they were calling us liars. They accused us of trying to embarrass them. How dare we accuse them of having a fake bag, or indirectly accuse their husband or mom or whoever gifted them this item of buying a fake bag. And, you know, we just decline to make any comment on kind of a person's purchase history. Sometimes we'll go and say, okay, well, did he purchase it here? And we'll look it up. And for the most part, we already know going into the computer system that there's no transaction history for that item because, again, it's a fake bag. If they're trying to bring it in for repair, and we decline and say, unfortunately, this is not a Louis Vuitton bag, a small percentage of people would become so upset that we are telling them their bag is fake, and they're outraged and they ask for a bag and they like storm off and throw their bag inside a real shopping bag. And then they would just kind of storm off. I saw this happen one time and I never saw this happen again. A woman brought in a bag for repair and she was very much a Karen type, and it was a fake Speedy. And in this case, it was, now I don't talk about fake bags on my channel or counterfeits, but I do know that there are, you know, very low grade, low level counterfeits, and then there are what some people call super replicas, whatever, where it's a very high quality and it's maybe harder to tell whether it's fake. In this case, this woman had a very, very good quality fake Speedy, but it was fake. I mean, it was clearly fake, especially from us. I can tell pretty much instantly if a bag is fake, and it was fake, but again, it wasn't something where we couldn't point out, okay, see how your Speedy has feet? The real Speedy does not have feet. The features were fairly accurate in terms of a one-for-one comparison, but we just knew that it was fake because you could feel it. You could feel that the bag, the canvas is different, the leather is different. It was a fake bag. And unfortunately, she just was not taking no for an answer. And it was becoming so volatile that finally my manager stepped in. She said, okay, we'll take it in for repair. And the woman, you know, kind of like turned her nose up in the air and was like, see, I told you so. And so my manager dealt with this, you know, the intake of this repair of this fake bag. Just like in one of my recent videos where I talked about the most disgusting bag that somebody brought in for repair, it is up to the manager's discretion to take in these repairs. That instance, the manager declined because of the health hazards and it was considered a biohazard. In this case, because the customer was just being so difficult and was causing such a commotion and a scene at the store, my manager decided, okay, I'm gonna just take this in and we'll just deal with it just to get this woman out of the store, because she knew what would happen, and it is what ended up happening. She took the bag in for the fake bag in for repair. We sent it out to the Sandimas repair facility. Maybe a month later, Sandimas sent us back this item and said, not a Louis Vuitton bag. So we had to call this difficult customer back and let her know that her item was back from the repair facility and that the San Dimas repair facility declined to repair it because they determined that it was not an authentic Louis Vuitton bag. And she was not happy. I don't remember her coming in to pick it up, but it, you know, she didn't cause a scene after that. It was always an interesting experience when someone brought in a fake bag. But if you do own one, please don't bring it in and insist that the store repair it for you. So I hope you enjoyed listening to those fake bag client interactions. Let me know what else you want to see in this series, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.